Hello YouTube, this is Hyboman here, back with a confession. Last time in my LEGO minifigures review, I said that I would be back with something probably brand new, for my channel anyway, and I am, and it's a little bit of a guilty pleasure. I have to admit and confess that I have given in to the world of tokusatsu roleplay toys. This is the Mobirates from Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger, which means I am now officially part of the Kamen Rider / Super Sentai fandoms. There's a lot to talk about with this toy, so I'm going to split this video, or this review, I guess, up into two parts. This first one is just going to focus on detailing, so let's start talking about that. You can see this is a cell phone changer. I'd say it's another cell phone changer, since they've had a whole bunch of these over the run of different toy lines, but this is my first one. The only other morpher or anything that I have related to Super Sentai or Power Rangers is a titanium morpher that I don't even remember getting. I found it amongst some boxes when I was cleaning out my room one day. So I can say that I'm not tired of this kind of design, but I could see myself getting tired of it. After buying this one and seeing everything it has to do, it's a great number of tricks, it's a great idea, it's a great concept, but you buy the next one, it's another cell phone, and the question becomes, well, what's the point? We already had a thing with number pads that made sounds and had lights and was shaped like a cell phone. It's kind of the same idea, just tweaked a little bit, which, again, I can kind of understand. The designers have so many different ideas for what a cell phone morpher could be, and so you sort of stick one in when it can be made to fit the theme of the show. But we're talking about this one specifically, the Mobirates from Gokaiger. You can see the name here on this. My apologies, lost battery power there for a sec, but we're back. So like I was saying, we're starting to discuss detailing. You can see this front screen is a blue sticker. We have the Gokaiger name right here, Gokaiger symbol there, as well as some cell phone detailing. So you've got full bars, full memory card, and full battery. And the Gokaiger color scheme of black, red, gold, with a little bit of silver and green there, actually, in what will become the cell phone's camera lens. There's no detailing on the back here other than a molded-in Gokaiger symbol, and I'm okay with that. A lot of times Bandai will go to great lengths to detail every single side of a toy, and I don't mind this for a couple of reasons. The main one being that this is the part that you hold back here, as well as the part that you would naturally sort of set down when you put it down, and it's good that there's no paint to scratch off here, because you have your hands here, you can do what you want. The other piece that I don't really mind this for is that most of the paint is on the inside. When we open up the phone, we'll see that. Before we open up the phone, though, I want to show off a few details about the mechanism of how this works and how it's built. If you notice, there's this gray tab right here that's kind of spring-loaded. You can't really see because it's small and my fingers obscuring it, but it will fit into this slot right here on top of the front flap of the phone when we open it up. And you'll hear a nice click to lock it in place. This is good. It keeps the phone open, and it gives it a good solid stop point for when you're opening it. Because one thing about this toy in particular is that when you're playing with it, like they would in the show, you're going to flick it with a flick of the wrist. And that can lead to wiggliness, or it can loosen the wiggliness, there's an official term. It can lead to looseness in the hinge, and it could potentially even snap if you whip it too hard. So it's good that there's a locking mechanism to keep this solidly in place. It helps with the overall solidity of the toy. And something else that I think really helps is the way that they make the transformation mechanism here. If you look at this second gray tab that's sort of recessed in here, this pops up when you twist a Ranger key. When that pops up and the phone is open, it will push this black button, which unlocks the flaps that are part of the kinetic or the transformation gimmick of the phone. And what's nice about this is that the gimmick only connects when the phone is open. This means that there's no complicated mess of gears or anything going between this part of the phone and this part of the phone, meaning that flipping it around, again, sort of dynamically like you would with a flick of the wrist, isn't going to damage the mechanism at all, and that's good. That helps makes the toy solid, easier to play with, less prone to damage. But with the phone open, we can see the primary details on the inside here. You can see the screen here with these silver painted swords, and a little bit of a starburst pattern around the central light. Some phone detailings. There's a speaker molded up top, although since this splits, it's just sort of a gold bar. You can see full bars again, full battery. You have messages, music, and a camera, which again, that's this detail here. You can take pictures with it. This little green arrow, which is just there to break up the black, red, and gold. Speaking of which, here's the main detailing of the toy, and my personal favorite part, because it matches the best with the whole pirate theme of the Go-Kaigers. Something that I was interested to see how they would work in is all the technology of, modern toys and modern superhero type things into the whole pirate ship, old-timey pirate aesthetic of the Go-Kaigers. And this does a really good job of it. This looks like, gold molding, especially with all these lines here, gold molding that would be done into wood. Something that you would find on an old pirate ship around, say, the door to the captain's quarters, something like that. And I think it's a really nice detail to have on this. It makes it look like it's a piece of a pirate ship, which is tough to do for something that's a cell phone. Coming down here to the number pad, you can see white buttons here. All the ones that are white are pushable. They're the working buttons that are made of rubber. And the ones that are painted here, green for call, red for hang up, star, which is a pattern I'm not used to, but if that shows up on other toys or on actual phones, I apologize, just haven't seen it before, and pound. These are all molded and painted, but they're in solid plastic. You don't push these to do anything. This is the enter button, which sort of has a starburst pattern to match the light, and then you have the keypad down here for entering codes and for making, I guess, phone button sounds. So that is the detailing on the Mobirates itself. We will get back to electronic things in the next half of the review. But we are now going to move on to the second piece of this, and the thing that activates the main gimmickry of this whole toy line, the Ranger keys. You get 3 with the Mobirates: the Gokai Red Ranger key, the Shinken Red Ranger key, and the Go-On Red Ranger key. So yes, a team of Red Rangers, or Red Sentai, whatever, I don't know how you refer to a single member, because they all have their own names. He's a Gokaiger, he's a Go-Onger, he's a Shinkenger, so it gets a little bit weird. But what I really like about these is that, in their own right, these are little collectible minifigures. Something that really helps with that is the fact that although they share the exact same body, and what I mean by that is that the legs, chest, back, and arms are exactly the same on all of these. Same mold, just different paint jobs. But what's different and unique to each one of them is the head. So each one has not only their specific helmet design, but a unique sculpted headpiece that really helps these, beyond just a paint job, look like they're a completely different figure, which is impressive given that it's only one piece different for each one. So we're going to take a look at each one by one. We have Gokai Red here. You can see that his helmet is modeled after the sailor's or pirate's or captain's hat, with his visor there, silver Gokaiger logo on his forehead. You can see they've tried to do the whole captain sailor jacket design here, giving it layers, which is hard given that most Super Sentai are based around sort of a jumpsuit design. So you have the black undersuit with a white Gokaiger symbol there, as well as the lapels trimmed in gold here of his red coat over top, and it's angled to give it the best layered look they could, so it looks like it's forming into the color of his coat. White gloves, black pants, silver kneecaps, and something that's on every single Ranger key, a black piece in between the legs to help distinguish them, and again, make this look like a little guy by himself. Posability-wise, he really only has arms that go around. They can bend here at the waist for the transformation, but you can see that the key part starts coming out there. Moving on to Go-On Red, he has sort of what I consider a more traditional jumpsuit design. Everything is red to show that it's all one piece, except for the gloves, knee pads, and his unique Go-Onger designs. So he has the silver racing stripes, I guess they are, since he is a race car driver, as well as a 1 there, which reminds me a lot of sort of a trophy. I guess that's what they're going for. And then his helmet, which is modeled after a race car driver's helmet, so single visor piece covering his whole face. These wheel details here, which are hard to see because they're not painted, and then the bird, beak, and eyes here. So Go-On Red. And the last one is Shinken Red. Again, Very unique head. This one is modeled after the whole calligraphy kanji style of the Shinkengers. His emblem is fire, and what's really cool about it is that it still matches the whole helmet with a visor thing that all Sentai members have. So it's symmetrical. You can see he has two eyes there, but it also very clearly also is the fire symbol. Instead of a jumpsuit, he is wearing a kimono. I'm assuming it's a kimono. You have this inner part tucked in under an outer flap. Again, sorry, don't know anything about kimonos, but you can tell, just like with Marvelous here, that they are going for a sort of layered fabric look, and it's cool that they're trying to pull that off. Again, white gloves and black pants. All of these, again, have the same posability. I think with him, the waist bend looks a little bit more natural, because as a warrior, he would be, bowing out of respect. He is an honorable samurai, after all. And that's about it for detailing on these guys. For any Ranger keys I talk about in the future, I will be mentioning heads, because their heads are all unique, and that's going to be the central detail of any Ranger key. Transformation on these is all the same, so you just flip up the arms and close them up, or flip up the legs, to close them into their key mode. And this is what I think is the other big victory of the Ranger keys, that they can look so unique as minifigures, and then when you transform them to Ranger key mode, they all look pretty much the same. They have that same sort of angled black stripe design with a unique logo, so you can tell what kind of key it is. And the key cut is different, so that they produce different sound effects in the different toys, like the Mobirates. But ultimately, these are basically the same key design, because they're made from the same pieces, but you open them up, and they're actually little guys. So that's it for detailing on the Ranger keys and the Mobirates from Gokaiger. Next time we will be back with lights and sound effects and gimmickry.